I'm here at the CanTech conference, and I just finished moderating the panel on what's new in retail and how will technology and how is technology impacting retail. We had 4 panelists in our session. We had a fascinating presentation initially, and then a very good conversation with the panelists about what's happening in the landscape. Clearly there is a blurring happening. We're blurring the lines between retail and technology. For example, our first panelist showed us what's happening with e-commerce, and statistics on e-commerce sales growth are topping over 10% growth each year. And now we're starting to see that type of growth happening with mobile purchasing. As part of that presentation, I polled the audience, and I was surprised to learn that 100% of the audience within the past 12 months have purchased something online. And 50% of the audience has purchased something using a mobile device in the past 12 months. So that was an interesting audience participation aspect. We then had a presentation on what's happening with the development at Union Station. As some people who commute through Union on a daily basis may know, there's a lot happening underground there, and there will be lots of retail and food service offered. Smaller footprints, perhaps some of those retail stores will simply be like showrooms where people can go through before or after work, purchase something from a retailer, and have it delivered by the time they are home that evening. Retailers, for example, may be using some of their suburban larger scale stores as distribution centers. So a really interesting concept of how the technology and retail fit there together. And then we had a presentation about Yorkdale Mall here in Toronto, learning about how Yorkdale is using technology, both obviously on their website as well as to help customers find parking spots. They mentioned that they're learning that people are using Twitter to learn about upcoming fashions and follow what celebrities and others are using, and that's having an impact on purchasing behavior and purchasing patterns. Another way in which retailers are using technology is we're seeing more and more retailers coming to Canada from the US. And US retailers know what Canadians like because Canadians are purchasing from their online stores. And so they have all this great customer data and preferences before they come to Canada, open up their first retail store. As well, in addition to e-commerce and mobile, we see technology being used in the design development of retail stores. The fellow who spoke about the Union development talked about Revit and BIM as design tools that are being used on that project, specifically Revit, to help with the design coordination of that massive project. And then finally we heard from somebody who talked about a tool that they've developed specifically to help retail landlords play what if and really put their mall into a virtual world, so to speak, so that they can show potential retailers what it could look like to be in their particular mall. What would it look like to be next to a certain retailer in a certain location? How will those signage look? And they can do a fly-through the entire mall using this technology that actually is best used on a tablet, either an iPad or some other mobile device. So a landlord can take this on a tablet and go have a meeting with a retailer and really play what if through a wide variety of scenarios. A really fascinating session. We had a really good dialogue with all the panelists afterwards. One of the questions that I asked was, what's the effect of pop-up stores? And they're seeing more interest by both consumers and retailers and manufacturers in pop-up stores for a variety of reasons. 3 key reasons are it allows a retailer to test a format for a store at a particular retail location. Second, consumers in some cases want to have more direct contact with manufacturers, so the pop-up stores offer an opportunity for a manufacturer to connect with consumers. And then finally, because some of our purchasing patterns today are more faddish and our fashion is at times more faddish, the pop-up store allows for a retailer to be in place for a year or two and then move on to something else.